Um, Kind of going back to that Kickstarter campaign. I meant to like ask this a bit earlier, but I know that this is one of the things that Chip talked about as being a potential shortcoming is not capitalizing off of their Kickstarter success right away, and instead just and maybe it was the idea going into it that this would be like a one and done type of a thing, and not something that would like continue on. But if we have, I guess, immediate success during the Kickstarter campaign, should we immediately capitalize?
Oh, like capitalize in terms of getting money, right?
Yeah, that type of guy.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
he
yeah,
was talking
yeah,
about they didn't bring
yeah,
any
yeah.
investors. They did like a little small friends and family round following, but not anything like significant. I know we wanted to push the can down the road in terms of like having institutional investors, but if there was a successful campaign, like we go back to like that viral potential, if that were to occur, would it make sense to immediately capitalize?
I'm a bit torn on that question because I could totally see why it would make sense to capitalize and raise like let's say a couple $1 million. And we've talked to some people who have done that where they've used the Kickstarter to raise like a million, a couple $1 million. And we've heard other people say that that's kind of an outdated playbook. And if you want to raise, you should just raise now. You shouldn't even bother with the Kickstarter. So I don't know. I go back and forth on it a little bit because I think if we raise money like that, there is a huge potential that they would want us to just leave our jobs, which I don't know if we'd necessarily be willing to do. And then the other thing is if it goes viral, one of the benefits of it going viral is that we have some runway. Like the cash gives us a little bit of runway. And then maybe we use that runway to get a little bit more runway. And if we run things right, and if we're profitable and sort like on a unit basis, if we're profitable, then that can really set us up to go a long time without needing to raise, and then really only raising when we really need it. We have a lot more leverage, probably have a lot more sales. So for me, at least right now, I would think I'd probably lean against raising right after the Kickstarter unless it was just really good terms and it made a ton of sense for us personally. But I think that's easy to say when there's no money on the table. So I think that would be something that we'd have to just, I guess, discuss and think about more once it becomes a reality. But what do you think about that?
I think back to um, I guess the part of the conversation where we were talking about the difference between our product and Rumpum, and how Rumpum was more or less a novelty, like something that lends itself to being purchased maybe once every few years by a particular consumer, and it you almost have to capture that moment right away. Like you think of like any kind of like viral anything, it's very short lived. Like you've got to like really take advantage of it at the moment of like at its peak. Otherwise, you might just lose that window because people kind of move on to the next viral thing. If if our product was to be successful out of the gate, I don't think it would be based on virality. I think it would be based upon people seeing value in it. Like, not that they don't see value in a rumble, but they see value in terms of like the longer term benefit of purchasing this product or having this product uh, in the consumer marketplace. And so I don't think there's a rush for us to kind of capitalize on that. I think we could we could stick to like our original plan of really like going back now that we've gotten the product out there in the consumer's hands or feet. um, we could get that feedback. We could continue to improve it. We can continue to like refine our business model. We can continue working on some of these other goals that we had prior that we could accomplish prior to bringing in any kind of like institutional investor. So I think our product being different in terms of its use, in terms of its lifespan, will kind of it bodes well for us when it comes to not having to immediately try to capitalize, even if we had a very, an extremely successful Kickstarter campaign or crowdfunding campaign. I think there's other ways in which we could use it to help us reach goals that are attainable outside of institutional investment dollars.